Hi everyone, I wanted to share a few things that I've been working on this week. Anyone who watched my haul video last week will have seen these Prima roses on there. These are the winter roses, and basically I bought this pack because I like the flowers, but they are quite expensive and I wanted to try and reproduce them. So these are the ones that I've made using the Tim Holtz Tattered Florals die. So what I did is I used two of this size here, and I used I've not seen anybody else use this. This is a handmade, it's like a mulberry paper, but it's not the really thin tissuey type, and it's more textured on one side than the other. So I wanted to try and see what that was like, because it's the most similar thing I can find to the Prima, and it is quite good for twisting and things. Here's another sort of half-made flower that I've been experimenting with, just to see how it twisted, and it holds its shape really well, so I'll probably make that up into one of the twisted flowers. And the same stuff, there's one of the Tim Holtz grunge rose. Well, it's not a grunge bud, but I'm sure everyone's seen the roses made Tim Holtz style. So, and there's just one final one there. And what I did with these, it's like a cream handmade paper, and I sprayed it with iridescent gold glimmer mist, and then I took a paintbrush whilst it was still wet, and it was creme de rouge, dipped it in the creme de rouge, and it really absorbs it around the edges to give that two-tone look. So that was those, and then on this one, as I say, I used two of the I think it's the medium size, and then two of the smaller petals in the same, and then this very centre is just a tiny little rosebud that I bought that was white, and I just sprayed that as well. So they weren't bad. I didn't put the leaves on the outside, and I did notice, I'm going to try and give you a real close-up on here, I don't know whether the camera will pick this up, but I used the diamond dust on the outside, and the Prima ones has actually got some kind of iridescent glitter mixed in with that. So next time I try it, I'm going to try and incorporate some kind of iridescent glitter, or maybe a little bit of stickles on there, see how that works, just to get the two-tone on the frosted parts there. So if anybody's interested, I used the Indian corn glimmer mist for that one. This one I used the coral, oh sorry, it's the coral reef for that one. It's a little bit darker than the Prima one. And the last one I used the crushed shells, and this turned out quite a bit darker than the Primas. Although if you look at the bottle colour swatch is almost a perfect match, but I think it's the handmade paper and how much it absorbs. It seems to intensify the colours. Anyway, that was those. I'm playing around with them, and hopefully that's given you a good close-up there. So if you want to make your own, you can do. The second thing, I bought some new Starburst stains, and I made a tag using those. So this is the finished tag, and if I just, you can't really see the glimmer too well on there, but it is really glimmery. And the colours I used on here, I used the Opal Sea Oats, the Cocklebells, Coral, and a little bit of the Glory of the Sea Gold as well. And I stamped over that in Stays on Brown, used the distress tool around the edges, inked it with walnut stain. That was part of the Tim Holtz stamp. It was an image I'd already had stamped on paper for another project and didn't use it, so I just tore a bit off and edged it and applied that. And there's another little piece running along the bottom. Then this is die cut letters. There's two different fonts there. One of them's the new Tim Holtz Vintage Market, and this is the Go Slim font by Sizzix. And I coloured those in the same colours, and then thought it needed something extra, so I added some of the distress stickles in Tattered Rose, I think I used, and then there's a couple of the Ideology foliage pieces, some of the little mini clips on there, and the main image, I absolutely love stone angels, cemetery anything like that. So I found this image on the internet some time ago, and I had it printed off ready, so I'll just use that, and then some matching fibres on top. And also, just because last time I did this people said how useful it was, these are the Starburst stains that I bought on my last haul, so you can see what they look like. I bought 2 sets. One was the Autumn Leaves, I think it's called, and the other one was the Mermaid Seashells, I think. Anyway, these are the colours. So that's the Ponderosa Pine Olive and the Tibetan Poppy Teal. I hope it's picking up the shimmer on these. The Red Hot Poker Orange. The Cattail Copper Brown. That is Autumn Maple Crimson. And the Cranberry Mist Burgundy. Azure Sea Asters, which has got a lovely gold shimmer to it. Cocklebell's Coral, that's the one I've just used. It's actually quite pinky on white paper, but it looked more coral coloured on the cream manila cards tag rather that I used. The Sea Mint Green, that's the Opal Sea Oats. This one is Glory of the Seas Gold. That is the Cathedral Pines Green, which is sort of like a charcoal background with green glimmer. Frosted Purple Iris, really pleased with that one. Lovely blue colour. And the Amaryllis Burgundy, which I did already have a bottle of this. But it got knocked over and I was gutted because it's one of my favourite colours, so I've just got around to replacing that one now. So that is those. And then other things I've been working on. I had a quick look at, well, a few people's videos. In particular, I was inspired by Arlene's venture into art journaling, and also Paula's videos, and I'll put their YouTube usernames on the screen. And so I've not got an art journal on the go at the minute, but I did do some sort of random pieces that are sort of art journal style, just using some bits out of my scrap box. So this is the first one I did that's got a moulding paste background. You can't really see the texture, but it's really textured. It was put on with a palette knife, and then I had various, I think they were Lumia paints over the top, and a gold glaze as well, which I don't know if it picks up the gold glaze a little bit. And then I basically stamped over it and used my pens and some sponged through some sequin mesh. There's some liquid pearls on there. So that was that piece, and I was quite pleased with that. And I might get another art journal started now, because I've been quite inspired by what I've been seeing. And this is the other piece that I did, that again was just on a scrap piece. It was actually a distress piece. It started out like that. That was left over from another project. And again, stamps in the background. I've got some of the Starburst stains on there, so I've got the Amaryllis Burgundy, and I've got the Cattail Copper Brown on there as well. I found this image that I had, one of my digital images, stamped the text on there. I punched out some flowers on old book pages and stamped over there, those two. Again, I used the sequin mesh there, but this time just drawing around it, using it like a stencil. So I was quite pleased with how that came out. There's lots of stampings, some Tim Holtz stamps mostly in the background. And put a little key, that's the Tim Holtz key as well, cut from a chip piece, and then it has been stamped over. It's been coloured with the Starburst stains as well. So that's just a couple of projects that I've been working on. I hope you like them. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment, and thank you for watching. Bye!